When we talk about the push press or push jerk, it doesn't matter if it's a barbell, kettlebells, dumbbells. The goal of this movement is to leverage as much of our strength and power from the floor through our bodies on that drive into the bar, or weight, or whatever you're moving to drive it up overhead and then finish with the shoulders. The strict press, where we're not using our body, is strictly that shoulder press to accelerate the bar. For the push press and the push jerk, we have the leverage of driving through the floor all the way up to gain a little bit of extra momentum to kind of increase that power output. But there's two things to think about when you're doing that. One, this barbell or whatever you're moving has a center of mass. If I took these blocks away, the bar would fall straight down. The weight's going to do the same thing when it's on your body. So if the weight that you're trying to move is not aligned with your balance or your center of mass, it's going to impart some sort of force off of where you're trying to drive it up overhead. So when we go to dip, the goal is to drive the knees out and stay balanced with that weight, as opposed to dipping forward, creating that as kind of like a quad dominant movement and allowing the weight to move forward. I see a lot of times we go into the push press, we're set, we're ready to go, and then we bend with our knees and the weight comes forward. All that weight wants to do is continue. Once you start to move it, it's going to go whatever direction you're sending it. So we want to make sure that all we're doing is coming down and going straight back up. To do that, instead of thinking about bending your knees, think about driving your knees out as far as they're going to go. It's going to do two things. One, it's going to create a stretch reflex through your hips, your quads, and your hamstrings, which will allow you to fire with more power. But it's also going to keep that bar aligned squarely with your center of mass. So when we get under it, we're aligned, we're good to go. And then when I go into my dip, it's nice and controlled. Take a deep breath, lock it in, drive the knees out, and then drive all the way up so that this bar and you are in line the entire way through. Don't accelerate quick and drop. It's the same thing. If we get out of touch with that bar, it's going to drop into us and create a little bit more needed to drive up. But knees out, square up, and drive. Keep it all on that vertical axis. Don't let that bar go side to side.